It's educational fun times with Mitch and Ben.
Well, hello everybody, and welcome to Educational Fun Times with Mitch and Ben, episode number 8. Eight. Today we have a special guest with us, Chris Brennan. Chris, why don't you tell us a bit about yourself before we get started?
Well, I'm Chris Brennan. I'm in my second year of education, math major and social studies minor. I'm in this class with these two goons here, Ecomp 455.
Right on.
Yeah.
Hey,
So,
Ben, Ben, why don't you go ahead and just keep
I'm just going to
talking.
take this one, Mitch. We brought Chris in today to talk about one of his recent blog posts. He was talking about mistakes in the classroom and kind of just mistakes in general. So why don't you start us off there?
Mistakes, they're definitely, I hate them. I mean, it's tough, like getting a low mark on an exam or just a low mark on a quiz or something like that. You hate it. But at the same time, it's because we've kind of been like developed to hate failing, you know. But at the same time, we shouldn't in the classroom. You know, mistakes are where we learn the most. So I think mistakes should be celebrated and something that, you know, students can learn the most from, not just from doing well. So
I agree with Chris on this one. And Chris, like, I know I commented on your blog post. I shared some of my opinions.
Appreciate that.
You're welcome.
Yeah.
You know, gotta share the knowledge. Gotta support each other.
Definitely.
But as I said in the blog post, I know a lot of people may not have seen the comments, but as Chris knows, we've talked about this a little bit. I work at Oxford Learning Centre, and one of the main things at Oxford, one of our main ideals, is that mistakes are meant to be celebrated. Mistakes should be celebrated, and mistakes happen to everybody. And even just for example, yesterday I wrote a quiz for one of my classes. I messed up on one small part. I made a mistake.
I almost guessed that you would have just made a mistake there.
Yeah. And so I was sitting with some of my students at the table last night when I was working, and one of them actually made a mistake on his math. And I was like, he was getting all down on himself. He's like, oh, I messed up. I made a big mistake here. Like it messed up the rest of the problem. I was like, you know what? No. Don't see this as a bad thing. I'm like, mistakes are where we learn. That's where we see where we've made an error. We can learn from it and grow as people, grow in our knowledge from that point. And I think that it's really important. I really like what you said about the different ways about trying to get away from that negative influence on students, that negative idea of mistakes, and try moving towards mistakes as positives and celebrating those mistakes in the classroom. Would you mind sharing some of those ideas that you had?
For the first one, I said definitely that for sure on like tests and exams stuff, even assignments, get students like positive marks or marks for doing their correction so that they can go back and look at their mistakes and then figure out how they actually were supposed to do it. So that's definitely one for sure. Less emphasis on the correct answer or like the final answer, more on the process.
Yes.
And then just kind of getting students to share what they've learned about just kind of doing their corrections and like kind of the whole process of kind of learning to embrace your mistakes in the classroom. So
I really like that. I like that idea about the tests, and that actually comes to something that happened yesterday as well. Was the I don't know if anyone saw the Ed Chat yesterday that was talking about, or was it on Tuesday? It was Tuesday.
2 days ago.
Tuesday. The Ed Chat on Tuesday was talking about teachers being blamed for students' bad marks, and it got into the talk about I commented on it saying about the pressure students have on tests and how they feel pressured to get that right answer, and it should be more focused on the process, like you said. And where am I going with this? I was saying, sorry, lost my train of thought there.
You just made a mistake.
Yeah, I made a mistake, and we're gonna celebrate that. Let's celebrate. Yeah. Anyways,
Camera shake.
So, talking about that process, and you know, in life with different jobs and stuff like that, when we write a test or we're doing something, we are given multiple opportunities to try it again. So we learn from our mistakes the first time we take that thing, the whatever test or exam or whatever it is that we're doing, we get a second chance to do it. So if that's what real life is, and we're looking at ultimately preparing our students for the real life and going out into their working life, why aren't we giving our students second chances to learn from their mistakes? What about redos? Maybe giving students a second chance to write that test, learning from their mistakes.
Good point.
Yeah.
I would like to address the issues of mistakes and for first-year teachers or for students going out into internship to practice teaching. I made tons. Mitch, I'm sure you made more than tons.
More than tons.
More than tons.
Okay.
But
Exponential graph.
I mean, don't try to ignore the mistake.
Yeah.
Okay. Like, you're not an expert when you're a first year teacher. Your students know that. They should know that anyway. Tell your students that, you know, like, I'm on the same I'm on the same playing field as you are right now. Let's learn this together. Let's get through this mistake together. Don't just ignore it, or else they're not going to see you as a genuine person if you don't address that mistake. So yeah,
we're all people. We all make mistakes, and that's the thing that they need to learn, is that we all make mistakes, and mistakes will happen no matter what. You can't escape them. There's no way of getting away from mistakes. It's going to happen.
It's what you do with that mistake, though. That's
Exactly.
what makes the difference.
Well said. Well, I think that's all we have for today's episode. So thank you, Chris, for coming out and talking with us.
Thanks
here,
for having
sharing
me,
your
guys.
knowledge.
let's have a round of applause for all the mistakes we made and speaking issues. There's a mistake again.
Woo!
Yeah.
All right. Well, we're actually going to have one more blog post at least with Educational Fun Times with Mitch and Ben.
Oh, we're gonna have more
Before
than that.
Well, before we take a short break, just to get ready for exams, because we do have our final exams coming up. So there will be a short break, probably until the end of April, but don't be afraid. Ben and I will be back for Educational Fun Times with Mitch and Ben come May. So look forward to that.
Tickle, tickle, tickle.
All right. See you guys later. Thanks for listening.
See ya.